dealing with abortion, and I would just say, as a pastor, I've dealt with this for over 25 years. I am unapologetically pro-life. I've spoken, marched, voted, listened, prayed on this issue for decades. I appreciate my colleague, Kat Kamek, for her incredible testimony earlier this morning. And I have to say, I was shocked last week as my colleagues on the other side of the aisle voted against the protection of a baby born alive from a botched abortion. And yet we are told the baby is somehow the mother's body. I wonder if that baby lying on the table there is considered the woman's body, and that it's okay to kill that baby. Yeah, my colleagues voted in that direction last week. I have seen over and over and over for decades, and have prayed with, ministered to, and helped women who are suffering emotionally and physically with the results of abortion, and I believe this needs to be a major topic, likewise, that is discussed here. Our federal government should not be in the business of expanding abortions, but in limiting it. And so from that, Dr. Skop, I want to thank you for being here. Your testimony was incredible. From your professional and scientific opinion perspective, is it correct to refer to the baby in the womb as the woman's body?
Thank you, Congressman. The baby has his own genetic makeup, half of which comes from his mother and half from his father. He is dependent on his mother, and yet dependency should not be a criteria of who has a right to live and who may be killed, because a newborn infant clearly is dependent. Human beings are very, very dependent for the early part of their life, unlike many animals. We need our mothers to care for us, to bring us to birth, and then to care for us even afterwards. So he is, although part of the body, or in the body, he is no more a part of the woman's body than a car in the garage is a consistent feature of the garage.
Okay, and listen, I mean, dependency, it'd be like saying if a toddler fell in a swimming pool because it's dependent upon someone else to save it, it's not of value. We need to just let it drown. I mean, it's the same. We could go down that path. Dependency is not the issue. It's a separate individual in the womb. Can you tell us how many women die each year from abortion procedure complications? Do you have any idea?
I cannot tell you that because our country has very, very poor data on deaths related to abortion. There are many reasons for this. One is that there's really no clear federal mandate to report deaths related to abortion. I'm sure many members of this committee are aware that there is a maternal mortality crisis in our country across the board. And studies have documented that probably between 50 and 75% of even maternal deaths that occur related to childbirth, related to care in a hospital, many of those do not get reported on the death certificate. And there are various reasons for that I probably won't go into, but the CDC primarily draws their data from death certificates, and they are ignoring the fact that it is very, very difficult to document on a death certificate a death, for example, if a woman has an abortion and commits suicide out of guilt 6 weeks later, that will almost never be documented. Many abortion providers do not maintain hospital privileges. It is very common, I've seen this in my own profession when I'm taking care of women in the emergency room, for a woman not to return to the abortion provider if she has a complication, to come to me. Many times she's ashamed and she won't even tell me that it was an abortion that led to the complication.
The gentleman's time has expired. If you can wrap up.
Thank you, Madam.
Anyway, it's very, very poor data, so we do not know the answer to that question.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
The gentleman from Virginia.